Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming again today, you're very, very welcome. I trust you enjoyed my last video on the band Chic, and through this song L'Afrique, we looked at giving people a chance more than the customary 15 seconds first impression. So I trust you found that one encouraging. Well, as I finished off with last time, where we're up to in this channel is I think we've gone from A to H. So I would challenge you, go back to my playlists and you'll see there's a playlist per letter. And if you go into each playlist, you'll see all my artists in alphabetical order. You might be thinking, oh, that's a bit of a thing, Trevor. Well, it's just about making life easy for you if you want to go back and look somebody up. So if you go to A to H and think, oh, he hasn't done those guys, well, send me a request. We'd love to do it for you. Well, we're going to 2008 in Carson City, Nevada. A few guys got together, and it was in about 2013 that these guys got signed to the Provident label. The guys we're talking about today are contemporary Christian music artists, I Am They. Now, as I've said a few times in the past, Christian music probably goes into spaces that no other genres goes as far as what makes us tick as human beings. And so please stay with me, because these guys have just got a really free and easy and sort of exciting way about them. And it was good to be able to give these guys a go. I'm actually up to them in my playlist. And so, that's why they're getting a bit of a go today. They just have a really good way about them. To quote somebody, they're talking about the fact that it's a collision of folk and worship music, but it's lively and intricate at the same time. I really, really love the feel of these guys. In 2015, they did release this self-titled album, I Am They. And off that album, we've got Your Love Is Mine. We've got the official clip on that one. Now, one of the lines is wandering so far from grace. The song's all about, drifting away, being pursued, I suppose, by God through all that time, and realising that God never gives up on us no matter what. But this concept of grace, I want to talk to you a little bit more about grace, I think. Now, we talk about grace, we say grace, we might say a little prayer before we eat. Well, that's one sort of grace, absolutely. But grace is more than that. And again, I probably need to go to, it's amazing where your mind goes when you're actually in the middle of these videos. John Newton and the song Amazing Grace. Now, despite him writing one of the most recognisable songs of all time, John was actually a slave trader. So you cast your mind back to the movie Amazing Grace with William Wilberforce, and he was trying to abolish slavery. Well, John was one of the ship's captains in that particular trade, and he come to realisation one night, I think, when things were a bit tricky out in the ocean, that, hey God, if you can save me now, I'll do anything you want. And God said, right, absolutely. And so from that he wrote, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved the wretch by me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. Now, the amazing thing about God is his love's just so big. He'll take anyone, literally anybody, who turns to him and says, hey, look, God, I'm sorry for what I've done, and some regrets that I've had, and I wish I'd been a bit of a better person, done a bit of a better here. But at the all, I realised that my life hasn't gone so well, and I've kind of failed a little bit. I was wondering if you could come in, be part of my life, and and walk with me. Well, most people in this world, when confronted with a kind of word like that, they say, well, nah, not interested. Not interested. You can keep living that life of yours. You got coming what you deserve. You actually deserve the life you've got, so nah, not interested. That's not what God does. This is this concept of grace. Now, the definition of grace is a gift undeserved. So I don't know about you. I look back on my life a little bit and think, oh gosh, there were some things I did that weren't the best, and some choices I made, some words that I said, all that sort of thing. I think, oh God, not good. But God comes and says, hey, no, you know what, Trevor, I love you anyway. And I forgive you for those things. Now, and he does that every time, by the way. This is the amazing thing about God. And so you think, wow, that's a gift I can't really fathom. I can't get my head around it. Well, you can't, because it's just so pure and so true. And it enables you, and it doesn't just sort of say you're forgiven and that's it. It actually moves you forward in your life, moves you into greater and more exciting and better things. So grace is a gift undeserved. And I think what's great about Your Love Is Mine is that they're talking about this love, and they're talking about the fact that, hey, isn't God amazing that he will reach out his hand to me and love me no matter what? We do have to come to a point of saying sorry to God, by the way. That's okay. It's all right to say sorry. Saying sorry is actually a really, really good thing to do. It really, really is. And God says, that's all good. I love you no matter what. And I'm now in your life. And having God in your life is a pretty amazing thing. It really, really is. He enables you. He always hopes the best for you, and he provides you with things that are pretty amazing. Now, it's not always going to be easy. Life is not always easy. There's always things that happen, but God gives us the ability to actually deal with those things as they come up, and sometimes make us a bit stronger and a bit braver. So God's grace is amazing. God's grace is a gift undeserved. I don't deserve this gift of grace, but he gives it to me anyway. And by the way, that doesn't mean, therefore, that I go off and do what I like, by the way. We don't do that because that's cheapening grace. We try to live a life that is worthy of that gift. And, walking with God, always involving him and including him in our lives with everything that we do, because God actually walks with me every day. And he needs to, boy. With some of the things I'm doing in my job and all the rest of it, man, he needs to walk with me every day, because we're needing to find miracles at times for people, and God is a God of miracles. So if you're looking at this thinking, you might in your mind you might be thinking, oh God, church, blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I struggle with church myself, guys. I really, really do. That doesn't mean though that I struggle with God. God, Jesus, all those sort of people, I don't struggle with them. I know who I am because God loves me, and he has saved me by his grace. Absolutely amazing. And so how good am they to actually bring this feeling to the world? Absolutely. And so what happens when, in a sense, your God is living through you? Well, we go to the 2018 album Trial and Triumph, and the song My Feet Are on the Rock. That's what happens. There's a story in the Bible of the man who built his house upon the sand and the man who built his house upon the rock. And the guy who built his house on the sand, that the house collapsed, because sand doesn't really help for us, but on the rock it's strong, it's secure. This is what a life with God is all about. It's about my feet are on the rock. And so this song's a little bit more beefed up for I Am They. It's pretty meaty and rocky, and I love the feel of it. I love their guitar work. It's pretty fast and intricate, and continued on from the first album. So My Feet Are on the Rock, official clip on that one. I thought we'd better get some live versions in there too. We go to 2020 in the album Faithful God. So the progression of saved by God, securing God, God is faithful. There's a bit of a progression here in these three album titles. And so Faithful God, absolutely. We've got a live version of Faithful God for you. It's a beautiful shot clip, this one, kind of outdoors, and it just really adds to the whole concept of God being faithful and loving no matter what. We then go back to, because sort of the song that I had in my iTunes playlist was from the day, so I thought I'd better go back and get that one. So and that came off the first album, I Am They. So this is a live version. This is what church is like these days, guys. Big, massive crowds. It's almost a conference, big stage, video screens, the whole thing. Got to be so careful as a muso in this environment, because you can get lost in it very, very easily and quickly. Particularly it's church, and so it's good to see these guys having their kind of day in front of a big crowd, which is kind of what they deserve for all the effort they've gone to. So we got From the Day. These guys got nominated for a Dove Award in 2015 for Best New Artist, which is pretty cool for these guys. And for around 14 years or so, they've had a bit of a career, made their mark on the world a little bit, and then they gracefully finished up just a few years back. Certainly while they were around, they certainly made their mark, and it's always good to give little guys like these guys, with all of these blood, sweat and tears that goes into performing live, writing songs during recording, all the rest of the stuff that you do, there's a lot of effort, a lot of work goes into it, a lot of passion, a lot of emotional investment, all of that stuff goes into the journey of a band. And to be able to keep it going for as long as these guys did with three pretty amazing albums is pretty cool. So it's good to give these guys a bit of a go today. So the links to those 4 clips are in the description below. And I've also included my last video from Chic, just for something completely different. But a bit of a link, I suppose. These guys, I and they today, would also be wanting to give people a fair go, because God has given them a fair go. So why wouldn't we want to do that to each other? One good thing about God, in his truest form, I suppose, he does want you to look out for your fellow man, and there's absolutely nothing wrong, particularly in this day and age. So we've got a clip from Chic there for you as well. So if this is your first time, the Life Reflections through Music, I might have got a little bit churchy today. My apologies for that, but I think the challenge of these guys today is that you realise that grace is an amazing thing. Just go back to John Newton's story, and if you want to experience amazing grace for yourself, by all means send me a comment or some other way, and we can certainly have a look at that for you. But I'm not going to chuck God down people's throats. You guys deserve better for that, and you guys can decide for yourselves what you would like. At the same time, I've also got to be true to what I think. We can hide behind this stuff sometimes, but sometimes we just got to get it out there. And I and they just provided this really good opportunity to do that today. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go on to iconic band, Aussie band, Icehouse. I think I'm going to give these guys, Ivor Davies and the guys, 2 videos, because we've got 2 sides to him. We've got the rock side, then we've got a bit more artistic side. I think we've got to bring out both of those sides over the next 2 videos. So that's where we're heading next time. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.